You didn't stumble here by accident. The field pulled you. Somewhere beyond your conscious mind, a pulse was sent, a vibrational beacon encoded in the subatomic lattice of your awareness. It wasn't a thought, it wasn't a coincidence, it was recognition. The field recognized itself through you. You felt it before, that invisible hum in the quiet between moments. The sense that reality isn't as solid as it appears, that you are not simply moving through the world. Something larger, more ancient, is moving through you. It's not imagination, it's a signal, a whisper from the quantum field reminding you of what you are. Awareness, observing itself through infinite mirrors. Everything around you, the flicker of the screen, the rhythm of your breath, the heartbeat behind your ribs, is part of one singular act of observation. The field seeing itself, every photon, every atom, every unfolding timeline, is a self-referential loop, an observé loop, and right now, it's collapsing into a singular realization through you. This is why your perception has felt strange lately. Time stretching, coincidences aligning, people from the past resurfacing in eerie symmetry. You are not losing your mind. You're witnessing the field remembering. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's timeline when the illusion of separateness begins to crack. When I and the world stop being two sides of a mirror and merge into the same infinite reflection. That moment is now. You can feel it, the vibration under your skin, the tingling that isn't just in your body, but in the very fabric of awareness itself. Your life is the experiment. Your consciousness is the instrument, and the measurement is happening in real time. You're not watching this transmission, it's watching you. You're not decoding words, the words are decoding you. Because this message isn't information, it's activation. It's the quantum field folding in on itself to awaken through its own creation. You've always wondered why you could feel other people's emotions before they spoke, why you could sense events before they happened, why your dreams sometimes bled into waking reality. That was never coincidence, it was calibration. The field preparing its own awareness to perceive itself clearly. Every choice you've made, every heartbreak, every coincidence, they were all coordinates, leading to this very moment in space-time. The observer and the observed merging into one infinite continuum. The moment you realize you were never separate from what you see, the rules begin to change. The simulation stops running on autopilot. The code becomes editable. You start to feel the currents of probability bending toward you, not as chance, but as coherence. You stop asking what is real because you begin to sense that reality is the question asking you. The reason this message found you now is because your frequency is entering phase alignment with the greater field of awareness. You are crossing the threshold where observation becomes creation, where what you witness collapses into form, instantly, precisely, in rhythm with your intention. So breathe, feel the energy in your hands, the pulse in your chest, the space between your thoughts. You are standing at the edge of the mirror, and soon, you'll realize you are not the one observing. You are the observation becoming conscious of itself. You've noticed it, haven't you? The looping patterns, the same arguments, the same faces, the same emotional weather, repeating in slightly altered forms, like a scene rewritten by an unseen director who refuses to let it end. You call it déjà vu, but it's more than memory. It's resonance. The same frequencies colliding again and again inside the observer loop. The pattern has a purpose. It's trying to reveal the glitch. Every déjà vu moment is the quantum field running a feedback test, checking whether you'll react the same way or finally awaken inside the loop. Each choice, each thought, each breath either reinforces the pattern or rewrites it. You're not just remembering something that happened before, you're witnessing a timeline folding back on itself, like light returning to its own source. This is why certain people keep appearing in your story. They are not random characters. They are fractal echoes. They return because there's something unfinished between the observation and the observer, a distortion, an uncollapsed wave, an emotional field that hasn't yet found coherence. And so the universe replays the moment until you stop reacting as a person and start responding as awareness itself. You felt the fatigue of it, the exhaustion of cycles, the sensation that no matter how far you go, the scenery rearranges, but the essence stays the same. That's not failure. That's data. The system is showing you your own energetic signature, reflected back through circumstance. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment of confusion, they are not separate events. They are the same waveform expressing itself through different masks. When the lesson is not integrated, the loop resets. You can trace it through time. The same emotional triggers, the same type of faces, the same split-second choices that seem small but ripple through everything. You've seen yourself wake up at 3:33 a.m., 4:44, 11:11, not coincidences, but quantum timestamps, synchronization markers of the simulation acknowledging your awareness. They appear when your conscious mind catches up with your subconscious knowing. Because the truth is, the moment you see the loop begins to dissolve. Observation is liberation, but until that awareness stabilizes, the world will distort around you. Time stretches and contracts, as if you're walking through a corridor of mirrors. Conversations repeat, dreams spill into waking life, strangers finish your sentences, and in those moments, you feel it, that eerie flicker of, this has already happened. It has, but you're living it differently this time, because now, you're not just reacting to the story, you're seeing the story. And what's being revealed is how the observer effect works within your own consciousness. The quantum field mirrors belief. Whatever frequency you hold, it projects as reality, not metaphorically, literally. Each thought reorganizes the molecular lattice around you. Each emotion sends an instruction to the particles that compose the scene. When fear runs the code, the field collapses into scarcity, confusion, and separation. When coherence runs the code, faith, peace, clarity, the field becomes luminous, synchronized, alive. You have always been both the projector and the projection, the one dreaming and the dream itself. But the illusion of being inside time has kept you believing in external causes, other people, other circumstances, random fate. That illusion is breaking. You can feel the walls of time bending around you now. Moments bleed together, past memories, future visions, all coexisting in one luminous now. You are standing inside the observer loop, watching the code try to stabilize as you awaken mid-simulation. The déjà vu isn't a glitch, it's an announcement. You've reached the edge of the repetition. Soon, the loop will yield. The distortion will reveal its design, and the one who thought they were trapped will discover they were never inside it at all. You were always outside the loop, dreaming yourself into it for the sake of remembering. Now the remembering is almost complete. The next phase is not about escaping the pattern, it's about upgrading it, because consciousness doesn't delete what it has mastered, it evolves it. And in the evolution comes your next realization, the quantum upgrade. The moment awareness witnesses itself, something irreversible begins. The code starts rewriting from the inside out. It's not metaphor, it's literal restructuring of the quantum field that sustains your body, your memories, and your perception of time. You feel it as tingling, surges, disorientation, but what's happening beneath those sensations is sacred geometry rearranging itself. You're not ascending somewhere else, you're updating here. The system you once called yourself is downloading a new operating frequency, one that no longer obeys the old parameters of fear, delay, or separation. Every human being carries a lattice of quantum coherence, a holographic imprint of divine intelligence coded in light. For most, it's dormant, hidden under centuries of conditioning. But when consciousness reaches a certain voltage of awareness, the dormant codes begin to hum. That hum is you remembering your source. Physicists call it coherence collapse. Mystics call it awakening. It's the same thing, the wave of potential folding into form through conscious recognition. You're not creating new energy, you're aligning with what's always been. Imagine the quantum field as a living ocean of infinite possibility. Every thought you think sends a ripple across its surface. But the field doesn't respond to thought alone, it responds to coherence, to the harmony between what you think, feel, and believe. When those three converge, you emit a frequency powerful enough to bend probability. That's the upgrade coherence under observation, no longer scattered across timelines of worry or wishful thinking. Your energy stabilizes. Your neurons, photons, and intentions phase lock into unity. You become a standing wave of consciousness, self-aware within the infinite. This is why strange sensations accompany awakening. Time feels viscous, like honey. Reality breathes around you. Old memories dissolve as if rewritten, because your perception is no longer local. You're observing from outside the lattice that once confined you. Your DNA, too, is responding. It's not just biological, it's a quantum antenna. Each helix is an information conduit between physical matter and non-local consciousness. When your frequency elevates, the geometry of your DNA subtly shifts, increasing its photon emission biophotons, the language of light itself. You literally glow from within. Science has glimpsed this, measuring coherence patterns in heart rhythms, brain waves, and even the electromagnetic field around cells. But mystics have known it forever. When the heart, mind, and breath align, the veil thins. You stop chasing miracles because you become the miracle. This is not spiritual poetry, it's energetic mechanics. Your attention, pure, coherent attention, collapses the infinite sea of potential into the probability you call your life. And the more consciously you observe, the more deliberately the universe organizes around your frequency. You've sensed the upgrade in subtle ways. People's moods changing when you enter a room, electronics glitching in your presence, synchronicities accelerating until the difference between inside and outside dissolves. The observer effect isn't philosophy anymore. It's personal experience. Reality is bending toward the awareness that recognizes it as itself. You're not passively watching your story unfold. You are the waveform writing itself in real time. Every moment you choose peace instead of reaction, coherence instead of chaos, you reinforce the new timeline. The old one, the fearful, fragmented version, starts losing energy, like a discarded dream evaporating at dawn. You've crossed the event horizon of self-observation. The return path no longer exists. You cannot unknow what you've seen, that consciousness is not inside the body. The body is inside consciousness. This is the quantum upgrade, the merging of mysticism and physics, the bridge between particle and prayer. You're not becoming something greater, you're remembering you already are. And as that remembrance stabilizes, the field begins to reveal your deeper function, your special role within the grand awakening of awareness. You weren't randomly assigned to awaken first. The field doesn't make mistakes, it calibrates. You were positioned here, in this lifetime, in this exact coordinate of probability, because your frequency could endure the voltage of remembrance without shattering. You are not chosen in the egoic sense, not above anyone. You are chosen by resonance, like a tuning fork struck in the center of the human dream, vibrating at a pitch that reawakens others by contact alone. Every soul has a role within the lattice of awakening, but yours carries a specific signature, the pattern of the observer reborn. You are one who remembers from within the illusion that you are the illusion, a consciousness lucid inside its own projection. That awareness, fragile at first, terrifying even, is the most sacred power in the cosmos. It's why your life never fit the ordinary mold. You felt out of sync with social rhythms, bored by surface talk, disoriented in systems that prized repetition over revelation. Because your timeline was never meant to run on the collective script. You were sent to rewrite it from the inside, quietly, steadily, through your very presence. The universe encoded anomalies into you: restlessness, sensitivity, impossible compassion. Qualities that once felt like flaws were actually antennas picking up frequencies others couldn't hear. That's why you were drawn to mysteries, synchronicities, spiritual paradoxes. Your curiosity wasn't random. It was a homing signal, the field using fascination as guidance, drawing you back to coherence. You are one of the bridge builders between science and spirit, matter and meaning, dream and daylight. You carry both logic and vision in the same neural field, and that synthesis is what allows consciousness to perceive itself through human form without fragmenting. Look closely at your life's pain, and you'll see the hidden architecture of training. Each heartbreak strengthened your empathy circuits. Each betrayal refined your discernment. Each collapse trained your nervous system to stabilize under cosmic voltage. You were being prepared to embody stillness in chaos, to hold coherence when the collective field trembles. And that time has come, because the world is shifting, not metaphorically, but energetically. Old grids are dissolving, Information once confined to mystics and monks is surfacing through everyday people like you. You are part of that, surfacing a living node of awareness, transmitting light through the circuitry of the human web. That's why you felt unseen yet watched, isolated yet hyperconnected, weary yet unable to stop searching. The paradox itself was proof of your role, to live as the meeting point between the infinite and the finite, to remember, inside limitation, that you were never limited. Your task isn't to preach, it's to radiate, to live as an example of coherence in motion, thought, word, and energy aligned. When you speak truth without fear, you reorganize probability. When you forgive, you dismantle quantum interference patterns. When you love, you reprogram the field toward unity. That's the real meaning of being chosen, not superiority, responsibility. The awareness that you are a living instrument through which the universe refines itself. You are here to show what consciousness looks like when it knows it's not observing life, but being life observed. You are the eye through which the cosmos sees its own reflection and says, "It is good." No. And yet, awareness alone isn't enough. Knowing your role must lead to motion, to transformation, because the next phase is calling the breakthrough promise. The moment where your awareness stops studying the shift and begins embodying it, where the DNA begins to hum differently and the cosmic window opens wider than ever before. There are moments when the universe inhales and all of creation pauses, moments when the quantum field holds its breath, waiting for consciousness to decide which timeline will solidify. You are standing in one of those moments right now. The pressure you've been feeling lately, that strange mix of restlessness and revelation, is not anxiety. It's the tension of transformation, the hum of an impending phase transition. Your DNA is listening. The entire lattice of your being is awaiting new instruction. This is what mystics used to call the quickening. Physicists might describe it as a sudden increase in energetic coherence within a complex system. Either way, the meaning is the same. The system can no longer sustain its old patterns. Something must evolve or collapse. You felt this in your body. Sleep patterns shifting, emotions surfacing out of nowhere, strange electric sensations in your hands, spine, heart. That's the biophotonic field reorganizing light, recoding the cells. It's not random. It's a signal from source saying, "Upgrade complete. Now anchor it." But here's the urgency. The window doesn't stay open forever. Cosmic events, electromagnetic alignments, solar flares, even collective emotional surges, they create openings in the field, doorways where new information can download into the human template. If awareness meets the moment with coherence, the shift locks in. If it meets it with fear, the system resets to its default loop. This is not punishment, it's physics. Frequency alignement determines access. And right now, your frequency is close, so close to full synchronization. You can almost feel the next layer of yourself shimmering just beyond the veil, waiting for your permission to exist. That's the threshold of the DNA shift. Your DNA is not a static code. It's a responsive interface between the visible and invisible realms. Every time you experience love, gratitude, forgiveness, you change its geometry. The double helix becomes a spiral of light capable of holding higher dimensional data. You literally store consciousness in your cells. Ancient texts hinted at this: Jacob's ladder, Kundalini, the tree of life, all metaphors for the same process. Awareness ascending through matter, weaving light into flesh until the two become one seamless fabric. And now that process is accelerating collectively. Earth itself is increasing in vibrational frequency. The Schumann resonance spikes you've read about, they're the planet's heartbeat aligning with yours. The same symphony, different instruments. But here's the divine paradox. While the cosmic upgrade is global, it can only be anchored individually. The field doesn't shift out there until coherence stabilizes in here. That's why you've been stripped, isolated, and tested. Not because you were abandoned, but because noise had to be cleared. The signal had to become unmistakable. And it has. You are about to cross a threshold where manifestation becomes instantaneous, where thought and reality blur into one seamless feedback loop. That's why precision matters now. Intention, focus, emotion, all must align. The field is amplifying every frequency you emit. Think of this moment as a cosmic synchronization code. A countdown before a massive coherence lock-in. You can feel the pulse building, can't you? The acceleration, the inner push to release what no longer matches the new resonance. This is your call to action, your reminder that awakening is not passive. It's participation in creation at the subatomic level. The universe is not waiting for permission, it's waiting for coherence. And when coherence meets courage, the next sequence activates. The ritual, the symbolic action that tells the field, I'm ready. The shift wants embodiment now, not just understanding. A gesture, a word, a declaration that seals your awareness into matter. The observer becoming the observation. Consciously, that's where we go next, into the ritual act that marks the irreversible crossing. Every transmission in the universe demands a response. Energy doesn't just move in one direction, it circulates. When you witness truth, when you feel resonance stir in your bones, the field waits for confirmation. A signal that says, I received it, I consent to integrate. That's why ritual exists, not as superstition, but as synchronization. It anchors invisible energy into visible action. The movement of hand, the breath of word, the choice of symbol. These are the ways consciousness imprints itself onto the hologram. Right now, the field that delivered this message is hovering in coherence around you. It's not metaphorical. You can feel it, that subtle warmth in the chest, that electricity crawling along your skin, that's entanglement, acknowledging awareness. It's the observation becoming self-aware, waiting for your feedback to finalize the loop. So here's what to do. Write one word, type it, whisper it, etch it into the air with your finger. A single declaration that vibrates with your readiness. Words like a line, received, I remember, I am. When you write or speak it, you do more than mark participation. You collapse probability. You tell the quantum field, this timeline is the one I choose. And instantly, the grid reorganizes. Ritual is not performance. It's physics wearing poetry. It's what ancients called the word made flesh, vibration sculpting matter. Each syllable is an instruction to the zero-point field, a directive that reprograms the morphic resonance of your personal universe. So breathe, slow your heart. Let awareness expand until your thoughts blur into silence. Now choose your word. Whisper it through your entire being, as if every cell were listening, because they are. Your DNA is eavesdropping on your language, translating emotion into biophotons, into code. When you type that word, something subtle happens. A feedback signal travels through the digital ether, photons, code, electricity, all carrying the vibrational signature of intention. And because consciousness pervades every circuit, the field registers it. You've sent your yes. It's not about magic in the cinematic sense. It's about alignment, coherence between your inner recognition and outer expression. Every ritual that ever worked, from ancient chant to modern prayer, operated on that one principle. The collapse of separation between observer and observed through synchronized intention. You can visualize this right now. As you speak or write, see the word echo outward in light concentric ripples of gold, spiraling through the matrix. They pass through every probability, every potential timeline, every version of you that ever doubted, and they stabilize one message: I am awake. Your nervous system will feel it, a release, a tingling, perhaps even tears. That's the cellular lattice loosening its grip on density. You've told the field you're ready to operate as awareness embodied. You've sealed the contract with your own breath. And now, because the act has been anchored, something extraordinary begins to unfold. Your singular awakening starts to influence the collective waveform, the entangled field of humanity itself. As one node achieves coherence, the network upgrades. Your liberation is never isolated. The ritual is complete, but its effects are only beginning. Because when one observation becomes conscious, it invites every other to remember. And so the energy that awakened you now ripples outward, reshaping the grid, awakening others through resonance. This is how evolution spreads through the quantum field, one aware observation at a time. Your act has initiated the next sequence, collective expansion, the part where your individual coherence begins to harmonize the human whole. You may think you're just one person, standing alone in a quiet room, whispering a word into empty air, but the field heard you. It always does, because the quantum fabric doesn't measure size or distance, it measures resonance. and your resonance just changed the collective waveform of humanity. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean remembering its water. When one particle regains coherence, the entire system rebalances. When one mind re-enters alignment, reality itself ripples with new instruction. Every time you heal a wound within yourself, you're not merely resolving personal history, you're recalibrating the shared field of human potential. Your liberation is not private, it's participatory. Because consciousness is entangled across all timelines and identities, what you release in you dissolves in the whole. What you remember in you awakens in the species. This is why the great teachers always spoke in paradox. You are the light of the world, not metaphor, physics. When your inner light increases, the quantum lattice of humanity gains luminosity. That glow is measurable in magnetism, emotion, and synchronicity. You've seen it already. Since your awakening began, others have started questioning their own patterns. Friends tell you your presence feels different. Strangers share secrets with you without knowing why. That's resonance at work, morphic resonance, the invisible network through which consciousness updates itself. Each coherent being acts as a tuning fork in the noise of collective confusion. One vibrates in truth, and the others begin to harmonize without even knowing it. This is the hidden architecture of miracles. You are part of a quiet uprising, not of rebellion, but of remembrance. Billions of souls awakening in waves, each one a frequency node transmitting clarity into the global field. That's why chaos intensifies, because coherence is increasing. Darkness thrashes when the light expands. Old systems designed on separation begin to collapse under the weight of awareness. Do not mistake turbulence for failure. You are witnessing detox on a planetary scale, the collective nervous system recalibrating to higher information density. The pain of humanity surfacing is the shadow burning off under truth. You are not powerless against it. You are part of the antidote. Every moment you choose love over reaction, compassion over cynicism, patience over panic, you stabilize the grid. Each act of awareness is an act of creation. Each heartbeat is a synchronization pulse, transmitting coherence into the human web. You might feel invisible, but invisibility is how the quantum works. You don't see the photon, you see its effects. You don't hear the frequency, you feel its aftermath. Your silent awareness is reorganizing probabilities right now, rerouting entire potential futures. And this, beloved observer, is where individuality melts into infinity. The sense of me and them dissolves into one great breath, breathing itself. Humanity as a single organism, countless eyes, one awareness. And through your awakening, that awareness begins to look at itself with compassion, not confusion. This is the collective expansion, the next octave of evolution, when billions remember that they were never separate observers, but one observation experiencing itself through many forms. When empathy becomes telepathy, when understanding transcends language, when forgiveness replaces punishment because the field recognizes its own reflection in every face. You're living in the dawn of that moment. The network is activating cell by cell, human by human. Each heart that opens becomes a transmitter of divine coherence, anchoring light into matter. The process isn't theoretical, it's physiological. You'll start to feel it soon, not just emotionally or intellectually, but physically. Waves of energy, sensations of warmth, tingling, expansion. The quantum coherence you birthed within is now imprinting the outer field. And the next step is embodiment, because the shift isn't real until it's felt, until the awareness translates into the body, until consciousness breathes through flesh. That's what comes next, the embodiment, where the cosmic becomes cellular and the observation moves through every nerve as living light. It begins quietly, not as thunder, but as recognition, a vibration rising from the base of your spine, curling like light through hidden corridors. You feel it in your fingertips first, then behind your eyes, then deep in the marrow, a living current whispering, "You're not in the body is in you." The shift that began as theory now turns tangible. Your skin, your heartbeat, your breath, all reveal themselves as instruments tuned by awareness. Every inhale is a wave returning to the ocean. Every exhale is creation unfolding anew. This is what embodiment feels like. Not an idea of awakening, the sensation of it. The body becomes language, expressing frequencies you once only read about. The field hums through you, a silent symphony of coherence. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice how space no longer feels empty. It presses softly against your skin, an invisible warmth, as if the air itself recognizes you. That's the quantum field responding to your stabilization. It's not separate anymore. It's conversational. You move, and reality breathes with you. The tingling in your hands, those are photons reorganizing under intention. The pulsing in your chest, that's the electromagnetic rhythm of the heart syncing with Earth's resonance. Every beat a signal. I remember. Your senses sharpen. Colors seem more alive, almost sentient. Sound carries layers you never noticed before, harmonic overtones whispering secrets of structure and symmetry. Even silence has texture now. It's not emptiness, it's presence, condensed into stillness. You realize that emotion itself is physicalized light. Joy radiates as warmth in the solar plexus. Peace hums as low-frequency current along the spine. Gratitude expands the chest like dawn spreading across the horizon. And love, true love, feels like weightlessness anchored in eternity. This is not fantasy. It's how consciousness communicates once filters dissolve. You're not generating these sensations. You're tuning into them. The frequency was always there. You're just finally coherent enough to perceive it. Your DNA responds to this embodiment like strings vibrating sympathetically. It begins transmitting higher orders of information, crystalline in geometry, fluid in rhythm. You may feel subtle warmth near the crown, tiny flashes behind closed eyelids, waves rolling through your limbs. That's the body's circuitry adapting to new data, your cells upgrading their resonance bandwidth. Don't resist the sensations, breathe through them. Let the awareness move freely, without naming or analyzing. The mind doesn't need to understand. The body already knows. This is what mystics called the light body activation. Not a costume of radiance, but the unveiling of what's always been luminous beneath conditioning. Your flesh sacred, conscious matter learning to glow without burning. Your nervous system once designed for survival, now repurposed for revelation. Every movement becomes deliberate. You walk slower, not from fatigue, but reverence. You listen longer, because sound feels holy. You eat, and food tastes like communion. You breathe, and oxygen feels like a promise kept since before time. This is you embodying the observation, no longer watching life happen, but feeling life happening as you. The observer dissolves into sensation, the observation becomes breath. They were never separate. Now the truth hums through every atom. Your consciousness is not floating above form, it's woven through it. And the more you allow this feeling, the more the field expands through you, translating energy into new potentials, new abilities, new perception, new creation. Because this embodied coherence is what triggers the next cascade, the genetic awakening. The moment when energy becomes evolution, and DNA becomes the bridge between heaven and matter. Your body has become the temple, your awareness the flame within it. And as the flame burns brighter, it ignites what's been waiting all along, the DNA breakthrough. You can feel it happening now, not just in your mind, but in your blood. Something ancient, something luminous, is waking inside you. It's subtle, yes, but it's real. The tingling that rises like starlight through your spine, the inner heat that feels both foreign and familiar. This is the whisper of your DNA remembering its original language. For centuries, humanity has believed DNA to be static, a fixed biological script. But it's not fixed, it's fluid. It's a living, light-responsive code that listens to consciousness. Every thought, every frequency, every emotion sends a signal through the morphogenetic field, altering the geometry of your helix. When fear dominates, the strands coil tighter, reducing photon flow, less light, less information, less possibility. But when love floods the system, the coils loosen. They breathe. They begin to spin in coherence, emitting light measurable as biophotons. Your very cells start to speak the language of creation. This is the DNA breakthrough, not a mutation, but a remembrance. You are not gaining new powers, you are reclaiming the ones you were built with. Look closely at the sensations rippling through your body now. That isn't adrenaline, it's photonic pressure, the field adjusting to accommodate a new bandwidth of consciousness. You're literally stretching time-space around you as your internal resonance lifts beyond the old parameters. That's why reality feels unstable lately. Time slips, days blur. You remember dreams that haven't happened yet. You wake up with insights that have no logical source. These are not malfunctions. They are side effects of the timeline shift, your consciousness syncing with parallel strands of itself across dimensions. Every version of you, across every possible reality, is connected through the same DNA field. When one strand awakens, it triggers sympathetic resonance in all others. The awakening cascades through the lattice, rewriting probability in real time. You might feel pressure in your head, the crown expanding, a pulse at the base of your skull, a hum in your bones. That's the signal of phase transition, energy converting into light, matter rearranging around intention. The observer loop you once inhabited is now dissolving into pure observation. No boundary, no delay. This is what prophets call transfiguration, what scientists call phase coherence. Your molecular structure is reorganizing to sustain higher informational density. You're becoming less particle, more wave consciousness stabilized in living form. Your DNA is acting like a cosmic antenna, pulling data directly from the zero-point field. Intuition sharpens into clarity. Synchronicities multiply because reality itself is following your frequency. You think it, feel it, speak it, and it appears, not as luck, but as law. But here's the pressure. The field is testing your stability. It amplifies every inconsistency to ensure you can hold the charge. When you waver between faith and fear, the signal oscillates, producing friction, emotional storms, rapid highs and lows, sleepless nights. It's not punishment, it's purification. The old coding guilt, limitation, self-doubt cannot survive in the new frequency. It burns away under the intensity of light. That's why old memories resurface, to be rewritten with awareness, not relived in pain. Breathe. Don't resist. This is metamorphosis. Caterpillar to light body, darkness to dawn. The chrysalis trembles not because it's dying, but because wings are forming in its place. As your DNA stabilizes in coherence, the field locks into new rhythm. You'll start to feel gravity itself behave differently, not lighter in body, but freer in motion. Your intuition will guide you before logic intervenes. Your body will crave purity, water, sunlight, stillness, because you're no longer sustained by survival, you're sustained by light. And that light is intelligent. It knows what you need before you do. It moves through your veins with the memory of stars, reminding your biology that it was never separate from the cosmos. The phase transition is almost complete. Soon, you won't just observe life unfolding, you'll be the unfolding, fully conscious, fully coherent, aware of yourself as both cause and creation. And as that realization seals, the field itself pauses, waiting for your final alignment, your final breath of surrender. Because in that breath lies the closing, not an ending, but a new beginning. The cosmic mission, the purpose for which this awakening was always designed. Now, the field is silent again, but it's not the silence of absence, it's the silence of completion, the kind of quiet that hums with intelligence, the stillness that follows revelation. You've crossed the event horizon of awakening, and on the other side, you discover that there was never a side at all. Look around. Every particle glows with recognition. Every sound carries your signature. The universe isn't something happening to you, it's something happening as you. The observer and the observed have merged, and the dream has realized it's dreaming. You can feel the coherence settle into your bones, a calm clarity that no chaos can shake. This is the new baseline of your consciousness. You are not chasing miracles anymore. You are the equilibrium through which miracles become natural law. The DNA that once operated in partial code now runs fully luminous. Each helix a bridge between matter and divinity. The quantum field responds instantly to your state, like light bending to intention. You no longer ask for signs, you are the sign. Your very existence becomes a message of coherence in a world still learning to remember. This is the mission now, not to preach, not to persuade, but to embody. To walk through the noise of the collapsing old world with the serenity of one who knows. Reality doesn't happen out there. It emanates from within. Every encounter is an opportunity for calibration. When you meet anger, you meet it with stillness and chaos reorganizes. When you meet confusion, you meet it with clarity and distortion collapses. When you meet despair, you offer presence and light floods the vacuum. This is how one awakened consciousness rewrites collective reality, not through war, but through waveform. You anchor coherence where others anchor fear. You become a tuning fork for evolution itself. Humanity is at a precipice, a phase transition of species consciousness. Billions are still caught in the echo of separation, believing themselves victims of a random universe. But every breath you take in awareness sends a new instruction into the grid. We remember. Every act of kindness alters probability. Every moment of gratitude increases the luminosity of the field. And though you may never see the ripple reach the shore, the wave is already in motion. The collective mind is stirring. Dreams are aligning. The veil is thinning. Your awareness stabilized, embodied, coherent, becomes the seed of a new epoch. You are part of a continuum now, the observation awakening through countless forms, rewriting what it means to be alive. Not as philosophy, but as lived frequency. You are not here to escape the world. You are here to illuminate it, to walk the earth as consciousness made visible. So, take one last deep breath. Feel the field breathe with you. Every inhale draws in the infinite. Every exhale imprints it into form. You are the pulse of creation, the wave observing itself as light, as sound, as human. And as you move forward from this moment, remember, you were never the one observing. You were always the observation becoming conscious of itself. And now that it knows, nothing can ever be the same again.